so let's get this thing set up here. Yep, okay. So. Okay, so it does recognize that I have a UI sensor, but it's asking for what battery. I don't have any of these batteries programmed in, so I'm just going to cancel out of that. Okay, I haven't really done anything but set it up initially. So the first thing you want to do really is get your ESC set up. So you want to make sure your motor direction is the right way. You know, make sure your BEC voltage is what you want. Right now my BEC voltage is 6.1 volts, and these are HV servos. They're the 3001 BKs and the 3005 on the tail. So what I do is I want to run them at 7.4, maybe 8 volts. So let's get my programmer and we'll get that going first. So depending on the way you have your ESC mounted, the programmer is going to plug in, you got to find your signal wire. So under here, let me just kind of tuck that back. You see there's a little, focus in. I'm not getting enough light. Okay, see the servo lead plug? I'm just going to plug it in. I believe the signal is to the right. And there we go. So, programmer is being read. I'm going to hit OK. Okay, it's going to focus in light-wise. Unlock that AF there. Yeah. So, okay. So it's set up here. So right now it's on flight mode, heli elf gov. I want to change that, so I'm going to go to value and then do heli linear throttle. Okay, and then hit OK. Save. It's the screen looks kind of weird because it's really cold. It's really cold in here, and the LCD just doesn't seem to go away. So, all right, so that's flight mode, heli linear throttle out. Okay. LiPo auto calculate is fine. Cutoff is soft cut. Okay, voltage, cutoff voltage 3 volts. Yeah, that's fine. I just usually leave default. BEC voltage though, I do want to increase that. So I'm going to go up to 8 volts. Because I like to keep a little bit overhead for spikes and stuff like that. Like if it spikes to 8.2, then we're fine. So we're going to do 8 volts. Okay, hit OK. Alright, so now that's set at 8 volts. The next item, it's going to be your startup time. We're going to leave that at 15 seconds default. Your gov parameters, since we're running line throttle out, these don't matter. So, and then auto rotation time is 25 seconds. That's the default. I just leave that to yourself. Okay. Restart acceleration though, it's like when you're auto rotating and you go back to motor start. I think this is all for gov stuff, but for now I'm just going to leave the default. Make sure that brake type is disabled and brake force is 0. Timing I'll leave. Motor rotation, that's one thing I need to do.
Motor on.
So what I need
motor
to do
idle.
is
motor off.
I'm going to leave it clockwise. Spool it up, see if it spins the right way. If not, I'll plug it back in and reset it. Okay, so we'll leave that like that for now. That was 14, 15, active freewheeling. If you're gonna try to run any type of low head speed, leave active freewheeling on. Startup power 3, restore defaults we're not gonna mess with. Okay, so that's it. So I'm gonna unplug this. I'm gonna reset, reinitialize. Okay, wait for it to disconnect. There we go. Reconnect. Okay. So right now, everything should respond like it should. So if I go, I had the basic setup kind of done, so I know my servo directions and stuff, my tail rotation, and it should be correct in the right way. It should be. The tail is not correct in the right way though. So I'll kind of go into that later. So let's see here. Okay. Alright, so let's go in here. Let's go to Let's just start this up.
Motor idle. Motor on.
Okay, so motor idle, motor on, look.
Motor idle. Motor off. Motor idle.
You could tell right off the bat. Focus on how late I.
Motor on. Motor
the
idle.
wrong way.
Motor off.
So I'm gonna connect this back up and tell it to go the other way. Motor rotation. So we're gonna make that now counterclockwise. Hit OK. Save the data. So that should be it for that. That's my BC to 8 volts and it's reading 8.1 on mine. So let's spool this up and see if it spools up right now.
Motor idle. Motor on. Motor idle.
I gotta reset the
Motor off.
ESC. When you make changes like that, even if you store it, you should reset the ESC, rebind it. Now I didn't do the endpoints yet, which we could do that too. Okay. The endpoints on a Hobbywing is super easy. But
Motor
let's see.
idle.
Motor idle.
Motor on.
There we go. We got spool up. Okay, I don't want to do a
Motor
full
off.
spool up yet because I want to make sure everything else is correct. Okay. So while this is plugged in, I'm going to focus mainly on the VControl here. So if you don't have a VControl, skip this part. Go to the next video. Go to the maiden. This is mainly for VControl folks. So let's see here. How to get this so I can see it nice. So I did a basic model setup. Now once you do a basic model setup, what you can do is also, like, you can go to setup tools and redo your setup. I'm going to do the ESC setup wizard right now because I want to do the endpoints. I want to tell the ESC what my endpoints are. So I'm going to go to other ESC. Okay, I'm going to load new setup. So when it loads the new setup, what it does is it actually makes the throttle active. So make sure your stick is all the way down. You're holding down on it. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to turn off the model. So I'm going to disconnect the model. I'm going to go full stick. Okay, full stick. I'm going to plug the ESC back in. It's going to go dee-dee-dee. Okay, so you didn't really hear it. What it did is it went dee-dee-dee. It stopped. It didn't do the full boot up. It waited for it logged the high point. When I brought the stick down, it went dee-dee-dee and then did the self. So it basically programmed itself now. It knows the high and low part. Okay, so that's done. Disconnect, plug in one more time to reset it. I always reset it. It's safer to reset it. Okay, so let me get out of that. Alright, so as far as model setup, you know, you can go to setup 2, do your new heli wizard. I already did that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into it and set everything up. So common, first of all, is I want to make sure the direction is right, sensor direction. So right now, my Neo is facing down. Focus, focus, light. Okay, so it's facing down, wires facing forward. So, yeah. Even because it's trying to pick up the battery. So facing down, wires front. Perfect. Okay, so that's good. We're gonna go to the main rotor. Excuse me. Go to main rotor. Okay, swash type. Make sure it's H3. So 1 servo in the front, 2 in the rear. Okay. You're gonna go to slash rotation just to make sure clockwise, normal stuff. Collective direction, leading edge. Okay. Okay, so servo directions. You want to make sure when you go positive, all 3 servos go up. Safety for negative. Okay. So on my setup was normal, reverse. Okay. So Swashplate trim. Now at this point, when you get into this menu, it's gonna be defaultly what it thinks 90 degrees is. Now if you set up your servo horns correctly to 90 degrees on this setup screen, they should be 90 degrees, which mine are. So at this point what I do is I leave the swash because it's all 90 degrees, but what I look at is I set up the pitch. Make sure I get 0 pitch at this setting. So what you can do is, hold on, let me just exit this thing here. Okay. So what you can do is you can go and when you're in this menu, put a pitch gauge on your heli, see where it is, get it 90 degrees. Get everything zeroed out. So zero pitch on both blades. Get your blade tracking to be the same, which means make sure that both blades are perfectly at zero when you're in the screen. And different ways of doing that is like if right now I feel like I have a little bit positive, little negative pitch on here. So I want to extend it now. I can extend it by extending the arms on the servo. Sorry about the light color difference. And I should really get the battery mounted. Make it a little easier. Okay, so that ripped. But so basically I want to make sure that these are 90, with this being 90, this is at a good midpoint, and then these are at a 0 degree pitch. So I could extend these, or I could drop the swash plate, however I want to do it. We can do it that way. Okay. All right. So the next thing you want to do is once you get everything zeroed out, which I'll do a little bit later with the pitch gauge, my so-called heli tool, you want to make sure your swash is level. So So the swash level tool goes in here. Okay, I guess it goes this way. Can't really tell. Yeah, it goes this way. And then I want to lower my swash. To it's touching but not binding. So about there is right. I can see that I'm off by my aileron channel is off. So we'll level that out. That looks good. Also on the elevator side, looking forward to back. If it has a little bit of forward, which it did, so I'm going to tilt it back. And it's still kind of loose, like it's touching, but it's not clamped down on it, so I know that the swash is pretty level right there. I'm going to leave that there. Like I said, I still have to do my zero pitch, but I'll do that a little bit later. To show everyone what that looks like later. Everyone's set up. Hopefully everyone's done that before. If not, we can do it another day. So let me get this swash tool out. Okay. So the next thing I want to go through is tail setup, right? So my swash, the collective endpoint. So collective endpoints is your positive, negative pitch. Once you have a pitch gauge on here, you can adjust that. Once you get your center, adjust it, and then go from there. I'm gonna just lower everything to 80 for now. Come on, focus in. ISO. Okay. All right, to 80. And then you're gonna do your 8 degrees of cyclic. I'm gonna just lower it for now. So make sure you do that with the pitch gauge, okay? Okay, so expert, I'm not doing anything in there. Tail rotor, tail setup. So I have the servo set up, but I think I have the direction going the wrong way. So let's look at the helicopter. And I'm gonna reverse it to normal. So if I go left, the blades are biting. They are biting to the left. Right? No, they're biting to the right. So they're gonna. Oh, so it is reversed. Okay, and then do your endpoint. So left limit, go out until it just about binds. And just back it off. Same thing for the other end. Okay. Now let's see what the swash tool looks like. I don't know what this. I never used one on the tail.
Bank 2. Bank 1.
On the tail, I'm guessing this slides in. Yes, it slides in, but it needs to be. Okay. So I'm guessing that basically it slides in like that, right? So it slides in. Right now it's binding. It should actually be, I should actually lengthen the rod a little so that way it doesn't bind, and that's probably where Lynx wants you to have the 0 point of your tail. Okay, I'll kind of go through that later once I get that going. But I just want to do a quick setup. So basically that's good. Alright, I'll leave it there. Okay, so okay. So at the next part, you can set up your governor. Okay, your governor mode is going to be default to external. You want to change that. For me, it's going to be vBar eGov. I'm going to let that load up. Okay, once that loads up, I'm going to go to exit. I'm going to go down to ESC endpoints, which I've already done. So I'm going to go to gov setup. Okay, so sensor config is how many motor poles your motor has. So this is a 10 pole, which is a 5 config. So take the number of poles you have divided by 2, and that's your sensor. And then the gearing. So let me see if I can look that up real quick on my iPad here. If I have it. Come on, battery dead. Battery might be dead on my iPad. Yeah, of course. Battery's dead, but yeah, you get your gear ratio from the manual, or go look online, or you can use Mr. Mel's calculator, however you want to do it. Get your gear ratio, put that in there, and that's really it. You never really have to adjust the run-up limit or the throttle. Now, if you do the run-up limit, that is gonna change the spool up on it. So if you want to do that, you can do that. Rescue. You know,
Rescue start. Rescue ended.
For folks that fly Neos, rescue's set up right from default. You don't have to do anything. You can, once you boot up, it levels it knows what the level point is. If it's, you know, if you want, you can go to level configuration, configure the level point again, but I've never really had a problem with it. So.
Rescue start. Rescue ended.
It looks like it works. So that's really it. Now, once you get your gov set up, now you go back up to your actual governor settings. Alright, go all the way up, go to gov settings, and then you can set your head speed. So, let's see. I think this heli is around 4,000, I believe, at the 320. The 325mm blades. So let me see if I can load that page up real quick on the manual. And sorry about the focus issue. Okay, head speed, recommended head speed. So with the 325 hover, they're saying like 2800 to 3300, and that's also for sport flying 2D, 2800 to 3300 with about 10 degrees of pitch. I mean, that's I'm gonna just set it for, let's see here. So soft 3D 3000 3500, hard 3D 35 to 4, extreme 3D 4 to 4500. Okay, so with that, that's a big range, right? You're talking about from just in the 3D category, from 3000 on the low side to 4500 on the high side, 1500 RPM. That's a big difference. So I'm gonna go. 33 is a high for the two sport flying, so let's go to 3300 for bank 1. Okay, switch to bank 2. I'm gonna now make bank 2 4000 because I'm gonna ramp that up real quick. Some, you know, high head speed. And then
Bank 3.
Bank 3, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for ballistic 4500. Let's see what happens. Now, I know I'm not going to need 4500. Now remember, this is for 325 millimeter. If you do increase it to the stretch kit, 350s or 360 millimeters, the max head speed is set for 4000. So just be aware, if you do swap it out for the stretch, that you don't want to go above 4000 RPM on the head. Okay, that's a lot. I'm gonna try 45. Why not, right? I'm gonna try it, see what happens, and we'll go from there. So with no blades on, I'm just gonna give a quick spool up. Let me get the screen out of here. What I want to see is if it gets, if I do see an RPM output, which will be right here, that's 0. Will give me an RPM output when I start spooling up. See if I can get that a little bit darker so you can see that better. Okay, let's go
Motor
on. Okay, I'm getting an RPM output. Okay.
Motor off.
So it read like 4000. I don't have the gearing set up. So let me check the gear ratio so I can get that set up here. Alright, so we 150 main gear and available pinions are 14, 15. I don't know what the stock one is. What does the stock one come with? I don't know. I'll count it and see what stock tooth pinion is, or I'll look it up. But that's it. That's pretty much your setup. This is, you know, once I get the little things like collective pitch and all that stuff set up, you know, I mean, not little, it's very important you get it set up right. But once I get that set up, I mean, you know, this thing will be ready to go. I don't know what batteries I'm going to run. I have 1250 pulses, 1350s, and then these little 1050s that I use for my not my Fireball, but the Mini Comet and the Oxy 3. I don't think whichever battery I pick, I'll have any problems getting it mounted, because this seems to have, I mean, that seems to have plenty of room in the front for a battery, so that should be good either way. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll have a maiden video out shortly after this video.